Ultimate hybrid DPSer, half caster, half melee, 100% nasty in bed. Or was it just me? I don't remember the script. We are gonna be taking Astral Shift, that's a 40% damage reduction, it is our best defensive cooldown, not even close, you never take anything else pretty much. Then we are gonna be taking Windwalk Totem, it is our best utility, it makes the group immune to roots. We are also gonna be taking Call of the Elements because most of our utility is a totem on cooldown and this will reset the cooldown just like Cold Snap but for totems. And after that we are gonna go for Elemental Mastery because these two talents are useless for enhancement sadly. It is a mini Bloodlust, 30% haste for 20 seconds, it is actually really good. Then we are gonna be taking Ancestral Guidance like every other DPSer shaman. It will turn your damage into healing, it is a very strong cooldown. Of course you wanna pop your cooldowns on top ideally. A lot of the time that doesn't happen, but yeah, even if you don't and you just pop it, it is a lot of healing for the raid because it is global healing and this is like the best selling point for a DPS shaman really, Ancestral Guidance. Sadly elementals can take more advantage of this talent. And finally for the last talent we are gonna go for Elemental Blast. Now I know that I said before that Primal Elementalist is the only freaking shaman talent that exists in this tier, and that is still a thing. However, at launch Elemental Blast will give you more damage. Also, at launch we're gonna have less gear and that means less procs, so being able to fill up another global with something else is actually pretty good. Elemental Blast can give you either 3500 agility, critical, or haste or mastery. If you get 3500 agility guys, that's almost a full agility potion for free, right? It is gonna be absolutely bonkers at launch. Of course it's a flat number, so eventually by Throne of Thunder, late Throne of Thunder when you get most of the gear, Primal Elementalist for that extra % damage will do more damage, yes. But right now at launch you pop Elemental Blast and you can take advantage of Elemental Blast with Elemental Mastery and you can do a nasty opener. For the glyphs we're gonna be taking the glyph of Flame Shock. It is gonna give you 30% of the damage it does as healing to you. We are gonna keep Flame Shock on the target at all times, so it is actually a lot of value. After that we're gonna be taking the glyph of Spirit Walk, and after that we're gonna be taking the glyph of either Fire Nova if we think we're gonna have AoE, but there is also actually a niche use that you may want to know about. If you can ground a spell, you can reflect it with Grounding Totem. Now, not every spell from a boss is reflectable, but some of them are. If you go to Warcraft logs and you see the number 1 Enhancement Shaman using this totem, this glyph, sorry, it means they are using it to cheese the fight. And it can actually do a lot of damage if you know how to cheese that spell. We are gonna go for Fire Nova, but keep that in mind. Minor glyphs are pretty useless like usual. Take whatever you want. Your stat priority is gonna be Agility. Agility gives you attack power, and as you guys know, Enhancement Shamans get spell power from their attack power. So Agility will be the best stat for everything you do. After that is gonna come Hit, 7.5% is gonna be the cap, and Expertise also 7.5%, and Enhancement will get spell hit from Expertise, so you are gonna be hit capped for spells as well, don't worry about that. After that is gonna come Mastery. It will give you more Fire, Frost and Nature damage. That's things like your Flame Shock or your Lightning Bolts. All that good stuff will count as elemental damage and it will give you more damage. After that is gonna come Haste. Haste is gonna give us more auto attacks basically, and that's gonna give us more flurry procs, and that's better uptime on flurry, that's great. More Maelstrom weapon procs, all that stuff, but also we are gonna take crit at the end. Crit is not that much worse than haste, and there is actually an argument you can make that after a certain point in haste, you got a little too much haste and you gotta get a little crit to compensate, because even if you auto attack more often, you also spend your flurry charges faster, and that kinda balances each other out. So stacking haste early on is fine, but if you are in Throne of Thunder, I would recommend you take a little of crit. I hate it when I ask something and people tell you to sim it. I know it is so annoying, but if you wanna know at what point you should be taking a little bit of crit over haste, I am afraid you are going to have to sim it. I know. I am so sorry. I became what I swore to destroy. I know. Your rotation is gonna be rather straightforward. Now Maelstrom weapon is not a weapon enchant anymore, it is just a passive. So for the main hand we're gonna be taking Wind Fury for that good old boom boom. And for the off hand we are gonna take Flame Tongue weapon for more spell damage. Now for the rotation we are gonna keep Searing Totem at all times. It is very important we do because of Searing Flames. Every time your totem hits, it is gonna give you a stack, and each stack is gonna give you more Flame Tongue weapon damage, that's your off-hander, and it will also give you a fat Lava Lash. It will give you bonus damage 20% per charge, and you can charge up to 5 times, so you can get a double Lava Lash. I am gonna put a Wikora in the Discord that tells you the Searing Flame stacks, so when you get 5 you can drop a Lava Lash for a big ol' boom boom. After that is gonna come Elemental Blast. We wanna spam Elemental Blast on cooldown pretty much, it is amazing. We wanna get that haste, that agility, that whatever we get on cooldown every single time. After that, if we got 5 stacks of Maelstrom weapon, that means our spell is gonna be instant. We are gonna do a Lightning Bolt. Instant Lightning Bolt is gonna do a lot of damage. After that we're gonna do Storm Strike on cooldown. After that we're gonna put Flame Shock on the target and we're gonna keep it. Flame Shock is gonna last 18 seconds and the cooldown is 6 seconds. So as a rule of thumb, if you play perfectly, you can put a Flame Shock on the target and get away with 2 Earth Shocks in between before you have to do it again. You wanna keep that dot rolling all the time, of course. After that, we are gonna do Unleash Elements on cooldown. Next to that is gonna come Lava Lash. Now Lava Lash has a 10-second cooldown, so usually you should have like 4 or 5 charges every single time for it. It is not a huge deal if you are like 4 charges instead of 5, just drop it on cooldown. It is gonna be worth it anyway. Now this is one of those confusing things about Unleash Elements that I do not like. Unleash Elements will make your next fire spell 30% more damage. So yes, you wanna drop your Unleash Elements on Lava Lash, but you also wanna snapshot your Unleash Elements every time you gotta refresh your Flame Shock. Keep that in mind, 30% damage on a dot is actually a lot of damage as well. And after that, as a filler, we are gonna do Earth Shock. Now as it goes, you are probably gonna have every global filled up, which is a big reason that we take Elemental Blast actually, to fill up some globals so we can wait for cooldowns, because we do not have a spammable filler spell. Yes, you could spam like Lightning Bolt, it sucks. You wanna keep auto attacking the entire time. Casting is bad. So if you got nothing to press, it is fine. Just auto attack and wait until something procs or something comes out of cooldown. You will have some empty globals as enhancement, which I know it is kind of atypical for most DPSers. That is definitely a thing here, and that's fine. The more gear you get, the less of a problem that's gonna be, especially the more haste you get. Now, if you are doing AoE, the rotation is still pretty much the same, except we are gonna be doing Chain Lightning with our procs instead of Lightning Bolt, and Chain Lightning is actually a decent filler spell unlike Lightning Bolt, and we are gonna be using Fire Nova on cooldown. Now Magma Totem, because of the... Now this is actually I think a design mistake, and now that they are messing with the classes so much, this might get changed. Magma Totem doesn't give you Searing Flames, it doesn't give you stacks. And that's really bad. So you are gonna keep Searing Totem even when you're doing AoE up until I would say like 7-8 targets, like a big pool. That's when you actually wanna drop a Magma Totem, because Searing Flames is so important. Your Lava Lash does so much more damage, right? You kinda have to use it. I don't know, maybe they are gonna change that and they are gonna make it so Magma Totem is gonna give you Searing Flame charges like in retail, or maybe not, I don't know. As of the recording of this video, that is not the case. If they change it, keep that in mind. That is so far what we know. Your meta gem is gonna be the Agile Primal Diamond. Your red gem is gonna be the Delicate Primordial Ruby. Your yellow gem is gonna be the Adept Vermilion Onyx. And your blue gem is gonna be the Glinting Imperial Amethyst. If you got spare heat, reforge around it, okay? There is not another good option for blue gem. You are gonna have to take the one with heat. It kinda sucks. Just reforge around it is fine. Your food is gonna be the Sea Mist Rice Noodles for 300 agility. Your flask is gonna be the Flask of Spring Blossoms for 1000 agility. And your potion is gonna be Beerman's Bite for a 4000 fat agility. And yes, they did change the pre-pull pull behavior, whatever of the game. It doesn't include pre-potting. Pre-potting is still a thing. You wanna open with a potion right before the pull. You wanna pop one, especially because we're gonna open with Elemental Blast and Elemental Mastery. A potion opener is gonna do a ton of damage. Overall, the Enhancement Shaman is fairly unique, and I totally get why people like it. The reality, however, is that it is a rather weak class. It doesn't have much of an identity, it is not really specialized on anything, and if I'm being quite honest, current balance withstanding, the Enhancement Shaman is just a worse Elemental Shaman. Yeah, I think that's how most people are gonna see it. Now keep in mind, they are changing the classes constantly. We are getting patches pretty much every 2 days now. Cyrene is on crack, he's just messing with every single class non-stop 24/7. So who knows, for all I know, the best spec tomorrow is gonna be backwards and Holy Decay with 3 pets and no weapon. What is the point of learning a class? What is the point of trying? But Medina, the changes are not so bad. Just you wait until they nerf your class 25% and you tell me how you feel, jerk. Shut up. Subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.